now joined on the Ticket to Reality podcast by season 3 contestant of The Circle, returning guest of the pod, and I'm so happy to get to talk to her now because I wasn't on the last episode. Fresh off a hair appointment, looking stunning, Michelle Ryder, Shelly Belly Comedy. How you doing?
I'm good. Better known to everybody that watches The Circle, Michelle Ryder. But Shelly Belly Comedy across all social media and all that good stuff. But I'm doing good, and y'all are cute as a button. Good Lord.
We got our superhero backgrounds, and I also got Ryan with me here. Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a new year, and we have so much to talk about with The Circle. This is my first season I'm watching as they come out, so I'm just excited to talk all about The Circle.
I think it's the best one yet.
So obviously I'm partial to season 2 because we got Lee. You know what I mean? Lee's our guy.
Yeah.
But this season so far through 4 episodes, it's been spicy. I'm invested.
Yeah, absolutely. Now look, I had to write down everybody's name and something that tied their name to something they did because I'm hormonal and menopausal, so I can't remember nothing. But I have my notes and I am ready to talk about this. Do you hear me? I am so ready. Can I start? Because I have been busting today. Listen, the first thing I want to say, if you were a contestant or you're going to be a contestant or whatever, and you want to, just know by now that every time somebody from the first round gets eliminated, they're catfish, people. They are catfish. They've done it every time. It's nothing new. Get with the damn program. Okay, I'm done with that part. Okay, now let's talk about each and every contestant, and I'm going to tell you the ones that I just love and could just squeeze to death and just, oh my God, okay.
I'm so curious to see if these line up with mine because the most of the crew I adore. Some of them I'm just like, yep, you're pretty fun. And then there's a few that it's like, I just would give the world for you.
Yes, I would give my whole life. So we're going to start off with Brett. Now he's a sweetheart, but now I can understand Brett, okay, because like me, they did not give Brett an opportunity to jump in. A lot of people think it's him. It's not. The producers tell you, here's when you can talk. Right, and you're thinking, oh, circle send, and all that. No, it ain't like that. So he really did not get an opportunity, and I feel bad for him. And ever since he got eliminated, he just went downhill from there. He's not putting any effort into it. He's not making any effort, and I wish that he would because he's as cute as a button, and the girls would just love him. And the girl, really think about it. If he would just put into some effort and act like he's having a good time, the girls would love him.
He's got too much going for him to get down as quick as he does. He definitely got the short end of the stick. But we were talking about this a little bit beforehand. Even if the first prize of The Circle doesn't necessarily go your way, this is still a platform to show who you are, show the world who you are. And I feel like he's lacking on that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but unlike me, he was even given a second chance to come back because it was like, oh, by the way, Michelle, you're eliminated. And it was like, oh, well, pack your stuff and get out. He actually has another chance to go, God, I know what it feels like to be eliminated. I need to pick this up a little bit. But I understand where he's coming from. It is a bitter feeling to think that you're getting involved with these people and stuff, and then all of a sudden they just kick you in the gut. And if you don't have, and this is for people that are also applying for The Circle and stuff, if you don't have a tough heart and a tough skin, don't get on the show because you cannot get butt hurt, and take things literally. It's a show. and things are kind of twisted and all that. Okay, so that's my thought about Brett. And Brett, I still love you, and if you're listening, and God bless you, Shelly loves you, honey. I feel you. Now, Billie Jean, is it Blackett from London? She's a little model that started crying. God bless her. Me being a mama with 4 children, oh God, honey, I just wanted to hug her neck. But she has just not put much into it. The people need to quit trying. A man needs to quit trying to be a woman, and a woman needs to quit trying to be a man, because you've seen it just don't work.
Unless your name is Delisa.
Well, that's true.
Unless you're a saint. Unless you're a saint.
There you go. There you go. But I like her. She's cute. I just don't have that.
She should have been herself. She really should have been herself.
She has so much to bring. And you can tell, she's a spicy little thing. And she could have come in and kicked butt and took names. She could have been like that little girl, I don't remember her name, that was also from London, that was on Lee's.
Chloe. Chloe, yes.
She could have been another Chloe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Okay, now that's her. Chaz. Look, I love me some Chaz. He's sweet as he can be. Oh my Lord. But he's doing good. He's playing both sides of the fence really good. But he's also flying under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So, he's becoming an influencer without becoming a target.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why you kind of fly under the radar and you do play. But he's going to be caught up with eventually. Because the bad thing about flying under the radar and being an influence is everybody's always gunning after you. Right. I am so glad I was wouldn't say I was glad I wasn't an influencer, because I wouldn't have cared. Because I have seriously $10,000 or what is $100,000, honey. I do not care. Okay, that would have paid my house off and helped me get a facelift. Do you hear me? Okay.
Well, plus, we'll talk about this a little bit more at the end, but you're a comedian. You got that thick skin.
I got that thick skin, honey. I tell you, you have to have a thick skin, because as a comedian, you are being judged the minute you hit that stage. And you've got to deliver every few seconds to make that audience laugh. And if you don't, you might as well go ahead and just dig you a hole and crawl in it, because there ain't no coming back. And if you can come back from digging yourself a hole, honey, you are a hell of a comedian. So, okay, my next person. Let's see here. Marvin.
Marvin.
What can I say about Marvin?
He's a little puppy, and I love him.
I want to adopt him and make him my biological child, is what I want to do. When he sat there and did not know the word coochie, I could have done.
Cookie?
He said cookie, and the coochie. I was like, coochie, baby, coochie, punani, punani, say it, come on. And he don't know. He just is there to have a good time. Period. He's just there he don't care if he wins that money or not. And when he said he was an engineer, I was like, love it. And because he's so young to be an engineer. He's
still he's young. Looks like Hercules, but still has the cute little braces. He's just he's a golden retriever puppy. Just this beautiful being, but also just so cute.
I just love him. He is adorable. Okay, I don't know if he'll go a long way though, because he has a hard time kind of understanding he's not grasping the concept totally. And he's like, oh, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. And oh, I'm just So I don't know. I don't know how well he's going to do, but I have been surprised before. So I'm going to keep my eye on Marvin. Okay, Raven.
One
That
thing
is
I
my
want to say
girl.
about One thing I want to say about Marvin quick before we gush about Raven, who is the best person on the planet.
Yes.
But I talked, Ryan, I don't know if you saw this on our socials, but I was talking with Carlos Navarro, who
Mhm.
plays one of the tracksuit mafia members in Marvel's Hawkeye. And after the episode where um, Brett and Marvin were having their conversation, and it was just
Bro, yeah.
Bro, bro, bro.
I, that was the tracksuit mafia's thing in Hawkeye, so I tagged Carlos in that. I was like, I'm just calling Marvin and Brett the tracksuit mafia from now on because bro is every second word in this conversation.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you, my son is a Marine and 27 years old. Either they're saying the F word or bro. That's all they do. That's all they do. And so as
Uh,
soon as I heard that, I was like, my God, that is my son. That is my son in all these boys. Um, but the thing of it is, so so the young girls, I just love the young girls, but it is hard for me to connect because the generational gap is so different from what I'm used to. The way girls act when I was growing up to the way girls act now. It's hard. It's like you're trying too damn hard.
mm-hmm.
So for me, it's different. But let me get now. Look, we're gonna talk about Sam. She is me. She is me in a girl form. Of course, she's a girl, but she is me in like a younger form, excluding the tattoos and the big hoo-ha. She is a hot mess, and God knows I want to be on her crazy train ride with her. She is amazing.
At this point, I will say she is one of my favorites, but I can't be cheering for anyone other than Raven just because I hope she wins. Or the contestant coming in next week, that tomorrow's episode that we're going to talk about. But um, Sam is without a doubt the person I'd want to hang out with the most. She's
Yes,
so cool and so fun.
yes, absolutely. She is just like, um, but you know, the thing about her is you don't know a lot about her yet,
Mm-hmm.
right? She's not revealed anything much about
Well, she did reveal some bathtub snow
the boo boo
angels we will
incident.
see.
The boo boo, and she shouldn't have said that. Oh no, no, no. I was watching that and I was like, baby, you don't ever admit when you boo booed it in your. Oh my God, never admit to
And
boo boo.
unprovoked.
Yeah.
No one pulled it out of her. It was volunteered.
That's what you gotta love about her. She's like, she
Yeah.
don't hide nothing. It's like either you like what I say or to hell with you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what
Oh,
makes
I
you
admire
love her.
that confidence.
There's
Yeah.
no guessing with her. It's like, boom, either you love her or you hate her. And I love you. Girl, I love you, okay? Um, okay, and Tom, okay, hold on one second. No, let's go back. Raven in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Now look, Raven is also me because she has and this is why everybody loves her because she has the best heart
Mm-hmm.
and she is kind and she's flirty, she's fun, she is everything everybody wishes that they were. And she is, when she has to block somebody, it really bothers her. And when a person, because a lot of people that's been on the circle, they're like, I don't give a shit, I don't give they just backstab. She's being true regardless of the circumstances. She's being true to who she is. She's not trying to hide nothing. And that's what I love about her.
She's so incredible. Like, continue. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I just she's like she and her interpreter, like both of them are just so enjoyable. And I actually thought, like, speaking of kind of the producers and like sometimes they make it difficult for certain contestants. Something I've thought they've done a really good job of is highlighting Raven. It's like
Yeah,
it'll be Paris talking and highlighting Raven, and
right.
so we can hear what's going on, but she's still the focus. And then when he has a funny moment, they give it to him, but they remember that like she's still the contestant here, and she's
I
still the main focus. It's been
agree.
a beautiful balance.
It really has, but I will tell you, sometimes you can't help but to watch Paris because he is so freaking fabulous. You know, he gets in there with her and twerks with her and does everything. But you hit the nail on the head. You're so observant. You hit the nail on the head. He does not take anything away from her, but he is just like a part of her. It's like
Mm-hmm.
he's a part of her, not he's on the show with her. He's just a part of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very
And
well said.
I love it. So far, my top two favorite is going to have to be Sam and Raven. Okay, just because they remind me and their heart and their kindness and their craziness. So let's go to Tom.
He's fun. Tom's so fun.
Yeah.
Tom is fun, but when I think of a comedian, now I know what so many comedians, I've heard so many comedians, and you would think that a comedian would just be buck wild crazy, right? And it is totally the opposite behind the scenes because
Tom reminds me of like a child's comedian. Like I feel like he could
Mm.
write like just a great children's book.
Yeah.
he reminds me of Blue's Clues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who he reminds me of. He should be doing a child's TV show. He reminds me of the guy Steve from Blue's Clues.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he doesn't remind me of somebody that will be on stage talking about, stuff that I would talk about that's not necessarily rated G or PG. Okay. Um, but he reminds me of somebody that would be on Netflix or the children's channel with a little cup of tea telling a story, telling people, telling kids how wonderful they are. And, I live in a castle, blah, blah, blah. Um,
Well, he
but
does.
yeah, exactly. But I
Mm-hmm.
just I have not felt a connection with him whatsoever. And I thought, oh my God, he's a comedian. I'm going to feel something, but I don't.
That's
I'm
fair.
just,
That's fair. I think
Yeah.
to be, I do think it is somewhat difficult to relate to someone who literally lives in the Tower of London and is in line for the throne. Like I don't think that's the easiest
Yeah.
yeah,
connector.
yeah.
Because it's kind of hard to sit there like, why am I cheering for this person? You live in the Tower of London and are in line for the throne. Why do I care if you win $100,000?
Yeah. I don't think we've learned exactly what his motives are for being on the show
Right,
just yet. So that's why that connection's a little hard to, make.
right. And that's the only reason. Now, I think he's a cutie bug and I just love him to death, but I have not made that connection with him. All I know is he's a comedian that lives in a castle, and that's it. That's all I'm getting from him. Okay. And then let's see here. Brian Clark.
Yes.
A sweet, sweet old man that is not good at this game.
Yeah.
What's what you say about old man? What's
I
what you say?
didn't mean old. I meant in comparison to the other contestants in this game.
I was loving you at one time. I told you that when we were talking about my hair this morning and what I did for you. So watch it, okay?
I
Uh,
was trying to describe him how he describes himself. His words, not mine. I apologize.
okay,
That's on me.
okay. I know. I'm just messing. See, you heckled a comedian, and that was your first mistake. That was your first mistake.
Yeah.
No, um, I hate that he got blocked, but I knew the moment that he came on and he said, I'm going to act like my daughter, I knew he would not last long because you can, a man just cannot, of his age, cannot act like a girl. what I loved about him is what his intentions were, is to win it for his daughter and
Mm-hmm.
granddaughter. And I thought that was just wonderful. I thought he was just, I thought it was wonderful, but I didn't make a connection. I don't, I don't think that the circle let him make a connection because they knew where it was headed before we
Mm-hmm.
did.
Mm.
Um, and then let's talk about Xanthi,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
the little teacher. Um,
Here's I feel very similarly about Xanthi and Brett. Um, and so it kind of makes sense that they're paired together. I kind of feel like they did not come in with much of a strategy other than I'm hot and I'm cool
right.
and
I
people
didn't want to
like me
say
in
it.
the real world.
I
Um,
did not want to say that.
it
Thank you.
gravitates people in the real world, but in a game like this, it's not really going to do it for them. And it's kind of the same now that they're together. I do think they balance each other out well. They both make a better team than they do individual.
Mm.
But
Let's
here's
say
my
it.
issue, and this is something that my wife Ava brought up when we were watching. Why didn't they make a damn plan when they teamed up together? Like,
Yeah.
what do we do? When did we get divorced? How old are my kids? Stuff like that. Like, where
Right.
was this strategizing?
Right. And another thing is, I would have known immediately it was a catfish because a woman of age, like they're pretending to be, would never put a picture of them in a bikini and red high heels for the world to see. You're just not going to do it unless you were just like, I think I am that dang hot. I mean, I could never imagine doing that for myself. And I know that there are women that are that confident. But that's not the first picture you would go to. I would think,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was on the circle, my first thought was, everybody loves dogs, right? Everybody loves cute little sweet dogs. And, here I am holding my little dogs, which actually come back to bite me on the ass later on. Um, but here's me holding the little dogs. That gives you every indication that I truly am who I say I am. But then um, that didn't work out. But see, that's the good thing about circle is you never know. But I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you this: if Brett and Xanthi were married, she would definitely be wearing the pants in the family.
Oh
She's
yeah,
definitely leading the two of them through this catfish game. Like and like going back to what you said about Brett. Like we don't get to see much of Brett's contribution to their partnership at all, really.
that's what I do find a little bit interesting though about their chemistry is even though he's not doing much, it's enough to just tone her down a little bit.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
she's obviously not just from a volume perspective, a very loud person, right? Always yelling, and Brett's just kind of sitting there like, because she's always yelling at him. But I do notice that there's the odd time in the conversation she's leading it, she's crushing it, and then is about to get a little carried away, and he's just like, "Oh no, don't do that." And that's
yeah.
his only contribution, but it does help.
Mm.
Well, see, what a lot of people don't know is keep in mind, okay, and this is to all the viewers and to people that, like I said, that are thinking about wanting to go in the circle. Keep in mind, what you're seeing is snippets,
Mm-hmm.
okay, all
Mhm.
put together. What you don't see is how exhausting that really is. Because the producers will say, okay, we're going to, this is about to happen. And you may stand there for 2 hours trying to cook or read a book, or you're just standing there waiting for 2 or 3 hours. One night we
For an
didn't use
alert that's gonna scare the shit out of you, but you don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
it really doesn't scare you because you don't hear it. They just go get ready for an alert that comes on the TV and you go, oh, alert, alert. That's what you know.
Oh,
Uh,
I was literally hoping it was like a birds on
yeah.
a loudspeaker in your room.
I'd have cussed everybody out if that's what happened. I'm like, I am too old for this shit. Okay. I can't handle it. Um, but so it is exhausting. There was one morning we did not finish up till like, I'm guessing because we didn't have any clocks or anything, but so I knew what time it was all the time because I watched the sun rise and set before I went into the circle, so I would estimate about what time it was. Because time is so valuable, we take it for granted time. Um, and I would say that we wrapped it up one morning, probably around 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oof.
and so it is frustrating. It is exhausting. And it is not like you think it is on the show. It is not what you see. It is work. That you may say, oh, circle message, and then you may say blah 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 blah, and you go, well, that was stupid message, and you're having to say message this, which is not a natural thing. It's just not, and you have to keep. Then by the time you leave the circle, you're going home, going message, hey honey, can you go wash the dishes? Send. It's embedded into your brain. So I think with Brett, I'm guessing that, and this is just a guess because you never know what's going on. I'm guessing that it is not what he had expected. I'm guessing that he's tired. I'm guessing that he's frustrated. I'm guessing that he thinks that I honestly think it's nothing that he expected.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
think that
can,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah. And he's just there now for the ride and doesn't really, I feel like, I just feel that way. I feel like he doesn't really care.
And I think that it takes a certain type of person to be able to handle this show, because anybody who is somewhat introverted knows the feeling of like, I'm going to see a large group of people. I have to have a face on while I'm at this event. That doesn't mean I'm not being myself, but it means I'm being presentable, TJ. You know what I mean? I'm going out to the world, and I have to chat, and I have to socialize, and I'm excited to go home and just well, that doesn't exist on
Right.
the circle. That face
Mhm.
has to be on 100% of the time.
Well, that is why Chris Sapphire was probably one of the favorite contestants. Chris and Joey was
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the favorite of all because they never let their guard down. They never,
Mm-hmm.
never, never let their guard down. From what we saw on this side of the TV, right?
Yeah.
But Chris, the thing I love about Chris Sapphire is like what you see on TV all the flipping time, all the
Mm-hmm.
time. There is no different. But of course, when you go into the circle and they say you're standing on the other side of the door and the world is fixed to see who they are, they're outside that door with you, hyping you up and go into the door and give it all you got. I'm like, bitch, I am too old for this. I just, I am just going to wheel my bag in, and I'm going to talk about how nice this room is, and I'm going to be fun. I'm going to be myself from the minute when I said I'm going to be myself, by gosh, I'm in it. And there was
Mm-hmm.
because anything somebody wanted me to do, I was like, not doing it. When I said I was going to be myself, I ain't going, the world is looking at me, honey, and So, but you never know what the circle has planned for you because believe me, my plan was never to go in the circle and be the circle joke,
That makes sense.
and the whole world is watching going, this is a train wreck. And you're the wreck, okay? And what's so bad is you don't know what other people are saying. So I never knew what everybody was saying about me until I watched the show, and then I was like, wow, that's hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
They're making fun of my wedding dress, they're making fun of my hair, they're making fun. But then also, because I am a mature woman of age, I was like, this is really going to backfire. And it did. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I said on your last podcast, it just goes to show when the world is watching every move and people need to keep this in mind. They're watching every single move that you make on that show. They're watching to see if you pick your butt, your nose. They're watching to see if I cannot believe Raven farted on TV. I love Raven that
And then
she
she
farted.
says, "That's not fair because you fart all the time and I can't hear it."
Yeah.
I loved her. I was like, hell yes, she did fart and meant to on camera, and I love her for that.
Yeah, yeah. Respect because
Yep.
she is herself, and that's such a important skill in life that so few of us are able to master.
Well, in today's society, you know, it is the world. How can I say this? We're in a world of social media where you have to present yourself in a certain way to be accepted. And that's one thing that I'm an advocate for is be yourself. Turn off your TVs, turn off the news, be yourself, be who you want people to know. Because when you see the movie stars and the social media influencers, you see all of this, um, they're just as much people as you are. Don't try to have the nicest shoes in the world. Who needs a Louis Vuitton when I can go to Ross's and buy the same thing? But you know, so I'm a big advocate for that because this generation is raised up around social media and what they should be and what they need to be and just be their self. And that's why I love Raven and the reason that I love what's her name, Sam, is because they're just being their self. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't come in trying to, and I'm not saying anybody else did because I don't want anybody if they see this and they're from the circle to think that I'm bashing on anybody because God knows I'm not. But that's what I get. You can feel I don't care who you are, you can feel when somebody's being real
Mm-hmm.
and being their self and being fun and being just, I want to have a good time. I'm here to win the money, but I don't want to hurt anybody. Um, but so like you said, we were saying earlier, you got to have a thick skin to be on the circle. And if you don't, then don't be on it because it can hurt your feelings and it can affect your life afterwards.
100%. Very well said. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I think it's so difficult how we're essentially living in a day and age that technology just evolved faster than the human brain did, and we're
Yes.
not quite capable to handle all the essential just exposure we have to what's going on in everybody else's lives or the fake pictures of what's going on in everybody else's lives. And even though the quality of life is higher than it has ever been in the history of humankind, we still have all these growing, increasing levels of depression and anxiety. And that's because of how kind of quick we've globalized society here. But Michelle, before we let you go, I want to play a couple of these games here that they played on the circle. I'm
Yes.
going to ask you some questions. Ryan, you're going to be joining us for the live show, right? So
Yes.
I'll hold off to
All right.
asking you these ones, and just stick to Michelle. If you were to pick one of these words to describe yourself, what would they be? As my cat Shadow is here, just meowing like crazy. He's probably going to come say hi onto the screen here right away. Hey, pal. Um, are you a leader, people pleaser, lone wolf, or team player?
I am a people pleaser without a doubt. I'm a comedian. All comedians are people pleasers. That's why we do what we do. And I, hands down, I am not a leader. Well, well, hold on a minute. So, what a lot of people don't know about me is I worked in staffing for 19 years, and I went from being a receptionist all the way up to a CEO of one of the largest staffing firms in the world. So I know what it's like to be a leader, and I absolutely hated it. It's a lot of stress. I don't like it, and I love to please people and make people happy.
Love it. Absolutely love it. What's your signature dance move? Twerking, the robot, a strip tease, or I don't dance?
I would say twerking. I'm pretty damn good at it. My daughters, I have three daughters. They showed me how one time, and I think I did better than they did.
I mean,
But now with my husband, it would be the strip tease.
yeah.
Let's be
There
real.
it is.
Let's be real. I
I
mean,
was gonna say if we want to get a lot of views on the show, let's see it.
look. I really don't dance worth a damn, and my husband will tell you that. But I give it an effort. It's not
That's
like I go
that's all
out
that matters.
Yeah.
and I find a place to dance. I don't go find it. Um, I just will be at home doing it, and I feel like I can sing good, but I know it's horrible. But I give it a go. What's the next question?
The next one is the one that caused quite a bit of drama in the in the episode, and so I don't even know if I wanted to ask that one or not. I was gonna maybe just leave
Let's
it, but it
do it.
was the have you never cheated? Cheated once or twice? Cheated more than twice? Or prefer not to say?
I have never ever cheated. I am a loyal. I've been married to my husband for 21 years, and my husband is in a wheelchair. He was in a horrible motorcycle accident. And I told him, I was like, if I ever cheat, now it's time to do it. Joking. I was joking. I was joking with him. Because you got to remember, I'm a comedian. I was joking. And, I don't judge other people for what they do, but when I'm with somebody, I take that very seriously because, again, I'm a people pleaser. I would never hurt anybody. And if you don't like who you're with, get the hell out. Leave. Don't
Yeah,
hurt them.
that's always how I've felt as well as if you don't like it, just get yourself out of there.
Mhm.
If you were this first group of contestants, the first 8 people they brought in, if you were an influencer, who would you have kicked out?
Immediately. Hold on a minute. Immediately. I would have.
I love this is in the notes.
I know.
Look, this comes from, again, being in staffing. I have to write everything down because there is no take back. I mean, you can't cut this out. Okay. So now the reason I would do this is you have to give your reasons why is because number one, you got to get rid of the threats. You got to so I would have gotten rid of Sam, boom, from the get-go. And the reason why is she is number one, she's not a big impact on the group, but when she is, all eyes are on her. So I need to get rid of her because it's just too like. Did you notice that either they're all on her side or they're kind of iffy about her? So I need to get rid of that, and then I need to find a group that I can settle into. And she hasn't found her group yet.
Yeah. She has like some of these side conversations with people, but she never really there's not like this big alliance like with season 3. Season 3 had like one of the biggest sides.
They
She's
really
got
did.
Chaz. She's got the partner, not the group. They need more.
Yeah. It takes more than a partner. You're going to have a group. But the thing of it is, you notice when you have a group, there's always that one that's Black Cat.
This is Shadow.
Oh man.
Black Cat. Oh, that's bad luck. Oh, and I'm going to bingo tonight too. Oh, so I would have gotten rid of her. Now, again, you really take things personal on the circle at the moment that it happens, and you go, "What just happened?" But why? But see, she's been on number 8 before. She's been on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's been up there on their top rankings. So I just think, I don't think she'll I would be surprised if she goes all the way to the end. And honestly, I will be surprised if Raven goes to the end. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, she's probably going to have a pretty big target on her back here. And Sam definitely is the type of player that you either want to be voting out or you want on your alliance. I feel like that's one of the two, for 2 reasons. One, she'd be a good advocate, but the other, I feel like if someone were to then target your alliance, she'd always be one of the first ones because she's one of the more vocal ones. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like she's either the one you would want gone or want on your side.
Right. And I think they're going to use her as one of those, oh my God, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Like there's definitely something, I feel like in the previews that we saw, there's going to be a lot of shakeup with some of the new contestants and how the effect that they'll have on some of the OGs like Sam and Raven.
Look, these clips take Shoe Bomb immediately from I'm so happy to be back to we have pardon me, we have the numbers, we can make this happen. So like shit's going down in these next 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Well, but see, a lot of people were asking me, if you could go back on the circle, would you go? And of course, my comment was, I don't know if they could pay me enough. That was my comment. But I was like, yeah, I would go. But with Shoe Bomb being on there, who I think is just, oh my God, oh, he's so cute. I would adopt him as well. But it's not fair. It is not fair. It is not a fair move because Shoe Bomb knows the game. He knows how to play it. He knows the twists. He knows the turns. He knows all that stuff. So to the players that are already there, I think it's a disadvantage for them. Now, I don't think Shoe Bomb's going to win it because everybody's going to say, oh, well, that just wasn't fair. Same way I'm saying. It wasn't fair. Mm-hmm. It's going to be somebody who hasn't come in yet, I think.
It's definitely possible. We've seen that in the more recent seasons, how at the beginning it kind of looked like you had to be there from the start. And as these seasons have progressed, that's potentially not the case. I've got one more question to ask you before we close things up, and that's talk flirty to me. Give us your best pickup line.
You didn't make me sound like I'm some kind of cougar.
Well, I mean, that was the theme of Circle Singles with our newest Xanthi and Brett catfish.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. You have to understand, when I'm on these little podcasts and stuff, I'm kind and sweet. When you saw me on the circle, I'm kind, I'm sweet, I'm being TV rated.
We got the R-rated on the podcast. We're always saying stupid shit.
Well, I didn't flirt with nobody neither, did I? So I can't flirt because I'm nasty. And I can't be nasty.
I can't believe I can't. Yes, we allow it. We allow it.
You know that I'm married, right? So
I do. I'm not saying this to. I'm not saying like what would it be to me. Like, what would it be? You've been married for 21 years, I believe you said. Like on year before Ryan, year 1. Like what hooked him in?
Ryan, he's wanting me to do this pretty bad, isn't he?
No. He, you know what? I think you got something. Like, you have your comedian, even though you've been married 21 years, you still probably got some skin in the game. You can,
Okay, listen, if you ever want to see something really hot, I'll tell you what I can do. I can walk around my house with not a bra on and bend over to tie my shoes, and my titties will get stuck in my shoelaces.
And 21 years later, they're still married.
am so thankful. Let me tell you something. I could not survive in today's world if I were single. I
Mhm.
couldn't do it. I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't even know what to do. I really would not. God bless y'all. Well, you're married, so you don't count. You've already got your hook. Are you married?
No, not yet. At least, well,
Are,
I mean,
are you engaged? Do you have a possibility?
I've been with my partner for almost 8 years now, but we're not engaged just yet.
Well, look, these little people out here looking to hook up. Oh my God. You have to get on social media and you are judged by whether you swipe right or left. How?
I was so lucky because that's where I found my wife was Tinder. That's
Oh,
where we met. And so in each other's pictures we didn't know each other in this small-ish 250,000 people city we live in. But we knew the people in each other's pictures. And I'm
Really?
swiping, I'm scrolling, I'm interested, I'm intrigued, and I see. Oh, I'm trying to see if I have like a Funko here, but my one of my wife's pictures is in her in full cosplay, dressed as Captain Marvel, and I went, "Well, I know
yeah,
I
I
know.
gotta make
yeah,
this happen. I gotta make this happen."
yeah.
I bet I know who your favorite circle person is, Jackie.
Oh,
I did love Jackie. I honestly, this is like one of the reasons I like this show so much, just in general, is every season there's been people that I watch and I go, I really like these people. I would really love to be friends with these people because they're so awesome. And that's what's been so great about the Ticket to Reality podcast, meeting Lee, is Michelle, I get to meet you, who I watched on TV and was like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. We had Trevor and Elisa both on, Jack, James, all these wonderful people, and it's really been a dream come true.
Well, let me ask y'all a question. Now, you have
Mhm.
to be honest. And now, look, I'm old enough to know bullshit when I see it. Okay. So you can't lie. So I want to know what y'all thought about what went down with me and what your thoughts were when you first saw me walk through the door. And did you think this chick ain't gonna make it? I like her. What did you think?
I liked you from the get go, and my personal honest opinion is my ADHD is so bad I don't remember how the exact situation happened that led to your blocking.
Okay.
it was the cloning, which was
Oh, the cloning! Oh my
yeah.
gosh, that sucked. That sucked so bad. I was okay. Yes, thank you for reminding me because like I watched this through specifically, and it's just like I can't
Brian
remember
is your
pinpointing.
backup guy again.
Look,
He's like,
this
he's like, Jesus, here we go again. The clone.
No.
Look, you say that, but that's so accurate. Like, not the backup guy, but the like. So when we started Agents of Fandom in March, there was three people: myself, Garrett, who you met on the last podcast, and Ruben, who's always behind the scenes, our head producer. And I used to had to do like all the posting on social media and all the like, just kind of just keep everything up all the time. And since Ryan has joined the team, we've grown so much, and he's taken up all the stuff off my plate that I'm bad at, and we've just
I
like
can, I
we've
can tell,
bloomed,
Brian.
and it's a testament to him.
I
Thank
can
you.
tell, Brian. He's like, how embarrassing. It's when they were cloned. Jesus.
That
Over, man. You asked her
I
to be
will
on the show
say,
when you don't even know. Like a program. Jesus.
I look for it's not the same. You blamed it on your memory on the menopausal brain. I blame it on the ADHD brain. It. I when I'm focused on a task, I'm in it, but otherwise, I got too many things going on at once. Brain's going too quick.
Okay. I'll give you
I
another chance.
truly think I truly think you were the probably the most unlucky blocking in
Yeah.
5 seasons of The Circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sucked because you were during one of the games where it's like
I didn't like the
both
sisters.
Blue and Orange Michelle had to give stories behind certain pictures, and you were being completely honest. But all the other contestants were thinking, "No, that's too simple. That's not enough details." While I forgot the sisters' names, but like
The
they were giving
Capra sisters.
yeah, they were giving so many details, but like obviously it's fake. So it's like, oh god, that's so unfortunate. Like how that whole thing just went down. Like it you know, you got to describe the shirt that was like cropped like so minimally, and you nailed it. But then they're just describing like the environment and stuff, not really the story behind it. So it
Yeah,
just
and they're
stuck.
sitting there talking about being on the lake, fishing, screaming and stuff. I'm like, do you know of anybody that ever goes on a lake to go fishing that's out partying? No, you don't. Are you stupid? Oh my God. And I'm like, it's Clemson. It's Clemson. Look, you idiots. And then what's his name was talking about her hairdo. God, that's a lot longer than that. I mean, it's that. And I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with these stupid ass people? Oh my God. I love them now though, but I know that a lot of that was coming from the speakers and wanting to twist things a little bit, but I think that Jackie got the shit end of the deal too. I mean, she came in at like the very last minute, absolutely made no connections, and was like you can bring Jackie's name up. People was like, "Who's Jackie?" I don't remember Jackie, and I'm like, Jackie, the hottest chick that's been on the show so far to me. I mean, she's beautiful. And not to mention, I've adopted her. She's one of my other daughters now. And you will see me and Jackie sitting side by side after the show at the grand finale. And Jackie comes and she sits beside me and she goes, and I said, "Hey, how are you?" Because I didn't meet her. And she goes, "I'm fine." And I'm like, so they got all this champagne sitting in front of us, and I'm like, "Ain't this some bunch of shit?" And so she goes, "Exactly." And I said, she goes, "Will you hand me a glass of champagne?" I said, "If you sit here and totally get up with me." And so we sat there and we were tossing back. I mean, you'll see us, and we were just like, bam, 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 bam. We're like, screw this crap. You know, I mean, we just took, and then when people see, because I'm not one, because they really want you to hype it up. You know, they're like, "Oh my God, Circle Fam! Oh my God!" Oh. And I'm sitting here going, okay, I don't even know these people because I was gone when these people came out. And so when people were coming out, I'm sitting there looking confused on TV. I'm like,
Who?
But let me tell you, I had the best time though, because I have met some wonderful people. And throughout this show, Lee and I have connected, and he is a ball of absolute wonderfulness. And even when we met, it's like we had known each other for years. And then Chris Sapphire, oh my God, I'm afraid to touch him. He is so absolutely beautiful and perfect. I'm like, can I just touch your hair? Can I just touch your skin? It is so flawless. You are so, and he's like, girl, what? And we just connected immediately. And then me and Jackie connected. Now, Kay is a very personal person. She's very personal. She don't like, you know, she's very personal. That what I gathered. And then who else did I never met Shubham. I've never met what's the guy that won? Joey. I've never met Joey. Um I've never met several of them. And James, I really didn't. I was like, congratulations. And that was about it because it was, I was there during the middle of COVID. And Michelle Buteau, as soon as she's like, because what you see is Michelle sitting there chomping the shit, right? Just, no, as soon as the camera said, she's like, didn't say bye, nothing. It was like, and you couldn't go near her. You couldn't walk near her. You couldn't get near her. Because of course those are her handlers, you know, those are the people you can't go near because of COVID. And I understand. I'm a comedian. I try to be careful because I'm in contact with a lot of people. But it was like, congratulations, thank you, congrats. And then it was like, get the hell out. Yeah.
See you later.
Because it was in the middle of COVID. They don't, it was like,
Yeah.
And so you just kind of were like, and I think some of the people got together at the end of the show, but, and then I think others were just like, I'm so ready to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had to sit there, you were, for 2 weeks, you were in an apartment by yourself. And I was so glad when I got kicked off, because when I got back to my hotel, I actually had a handler that I had somebody to talk to. And it was the first time I had somebody to talk to in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And except for people coming and bringing your food, and you're like, hey, do you want to come in? Do you want to come? And they're like, no, we can't. And I'm like, please, can we just, because as you can tell, I love people. I love to talk. And so I just sat there, and I think I watched everything on Netflix. And thank God I had, they bring your food and you had to cook it. But in the meantime, I'm above a Subway, and I'm smelling Subway, and I'm like, I can't go outside and get a Subway, and it's right there. All I want's a Subway. And so finally I called, and I was like, who do I need to show a titty to get a Subway? Is there any way? What do I need to do? Something. I smell that bread. I need something. And they're like, no. And then they finally said, they said I could order something, but I couldn't call. Yeah. And everywhere I checked in, I had a code name.
Yeah.
And you know what my code name was? Rose, what was it? Rose something. I can't remember now. So, Rose Garrett or something like that. That was who my name was. Cause nobody could know who I was. You went outside. It was like, you had the people going 10-4. Yeah, we're going, east on blah, blah, blah. And so you couldn't, they take this seriously. You can't run into each other. Like, you would know who they were if you did. But I guess they showed their picture. You would be like, I just passed that person where Big Ben was. I don't,
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
It was fun though, and I had a good time, and it does open up a lot of doors for a lot of people. And if people have the opportunity, take the opportunity, enjoy the opportunity, be smart about what you're doing, and about, just think before you do things. Cause that's something I didn't do. Is I thought, I'm just going to go in here and be myself. And when they did that about the dogs, and I was like, no, I don't let a dog lick me in the mouth. Who lets a dog, after they just ate a turd, lick them in the mouth? Who the hell does? And they were like, oh my God, she doesn't let her dog lick her in the mouth. She is so a catfish. And I'm like, because I don't let my dog who just licked their butthole lick me in the mouth? You're going to hate me?
Now, I've been wanting to ask you this question since I was watching you on season 3. Will you kiss your dog on the mouth if it's not licking you back? Like, will you give it that little, oh, you're so cute? Mwah.
I'll do like the little side kisses. I'm like, no, that's not letting your dog. That if you go back and you look at the question,
100%.
Yeah.
That's because I was sitting there thinking, like, I give them the side kisses all the time, but I don't want to make out with my dog. That's gross.
Yeah.
But the question was, do you let your dog lick you in the mouth? No. Do I give my dog kisses and snuggles and hugs? Oh my God, I smother him to death with it. But the moment my dog puts his tongue in my mouth, we got a problem.
You go, oh no, and you push him away. I
gag for 20 minutes. I'm like, oh God, oh my God, oh my God. I just saw him eat a turd outside. Oh my God. And then the girls were like, when I went and I went to the sisters' rooms, and they were like, because now what y'all don't know is at the time, I didn't want to go see the sisters. I want to go see Daniel, who I Love. Do you hear me? Oh my God, he is the cutest little thing. And I can't keep up with him. He is like ADHD times 10. But when they were like, well, we want you to go see the sister. So I was like, you sure? Because I'm gonna be redneck up in here. Okay. And so I'm like, you done brought out the redneck in this country girl. So I opened up the door and I didn't know who they were. I know that sounds crazy, but when I saw them sitting there, I was like, who were they? Because they had on wigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute. Y'all are, and it hit me who they were. Well, then I was even more mad. And when they were like, so why don't you let your dog lick you in the mouth? And you see, I did not skip a beat. I said, because dogs lick their ass and they're Peter. And she's like, my dog doesn't lick their ass. And I'm like, apparently you live in another universe. Every dog and cat licks their butthole and they're proud.
How did somebody this dumb just take my spot?
I was just like, oh my God. And I was just floored. And I'm like, what did that accomplish? Because they wound up getting eliminated the very next time. And I'm like, and I'm thinking myself when I saw this, I'm like, what good did they get out of this? They got nothing good out of it. So, but it brought me a lot of opportunities. I will say that. Everybody on the show was absolutely nice. The producers were amazing. They were very nice people. But it opens a lot of doors if that's what you're looking for. And it's really helped me with my comedy career, just to be able to have that Netflix emblem on there and to say that, hey, I was on Netflix on a reality show. Not that anybody remembers who the hell I was. They're just like, oh, I remember you. Oh, bless your heart. Oh, I'm the bless your heart lady.
Oh, yeah, because that's what the sisters would always say to convince other people. Bless your heart. Yes.
And she,
even though the circle game didn't go that well for you, it has helped bloom a phenomenal comedy career. But I mean, that's less about the circle and more just about you being talented and hilarious. Michelle, I know you got some shows this weekend. Where are you going to be performing, and where can the people find you on socials?
Thank you for letting me do the plug. So you can find me across all social media at Shelly Belly, Shelly.
There's the dogs.
I'm on a podcast. Sorry.
The fact that we haven't heard them the entire time until you started plugging is like.
I honestly, for a second, I thought that was just like the whole family being like, yeah, Shelly Belly comedy!
Sorry.
They're big fans.
Big
Dogs
fans.
are big fans.
My little white and gold dog in her little donut pajamas. And my husband's looking at me going, I'm sorry. he just rolled in the front door and he's like, oh my God. Anyways, so back to my plug. So you can find me at Shelly Belly Comedy, SHELLYBELLY comedy.com. You can see all of my tour dates, which are at shellybellycomedy.com. Social media is Shelly Belly Comedy, but I've got some shows coming up in Alabama. Love you too. Bye. That was my son. Just, not that I'm sitting here doing anything. He's like, bye, Mom. Anyhow, can we edit that part?
Yeah. We can, but if I'm being real, that's
It's
The
comedy.
realness is kind of what makes us us.
Exactly. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But so I've got shows coming up this Thursday in Charlotte. I got shows coming up in Columbia, South Carolina. I've got shows coming up in Tennessee. I've got shows everywhere. So you guys, if you love great comedy, and you love great stand-up comedy, I promise you I'll deliver one of the best 1 hour stand-up comedy shows you've ever seen.
I don't doubt it, because this episode has been a laugh. When you were on the circle, it was a great laugh, other than when you got cloned. That just sucked. And then when we obviously got the chance to watch you on the last Ticket to Reality episode, that was one of my favorite episodes of the podcast, and I wasn't even on it. So thank you so much for joining us. This has been a blast.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And Ron, you got to talk more. Speak up. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there.
So, but anyways, thank y'all so much for having me on, and I cannot wait to see the rest of it. And I will be hitting you up on Instagram to go, OMG, did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you all hit the like button if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe to the Ticket to Reality podcast.